Certainly thoughts and prayers to his family and to the others that have been impacted. The death toll now at 35, and this is still a very dangerous system, still sparking the threat of severe weather tonight. But the good news is, as it enters central Georgia, it looks like the threat is reduced, at least for tonight. Let's talk about it. So a very similar setup to what we had just 24 hours ago. Here's our area of low pressure. Yesterday it was over Omaha and Wichita. Tonight it's over Chicago and St. Louis. So you can see, again, not much motion there. So it's a slow-moving system. And as long as the cold front is to our west, which it is, then we are ahead of the cold front, and that means the threat of severe weather is still here. We are not going to zero out the threat of severe weather until this cold front passes to our east. And I think that'll happen sometime tomorrow night. So you can still see the spin in the atmosphere. Look at that counterclockwise spin with that area of low pressure. Very impressive there. A lot of stormy weather tonight in Alabama, but thankfully for them, it is not severe weather, but certainly thunderstorms that they would want to seek shelter from. Notice there are no red outlines on the map tonight. There are no active tornado watches. That's an incredible feat that we've not accomplished now in at least a couple of days. A little bit closer look, you can see the enormous amount of lightning, live lightning data coming in right now. When you see that white orb pop up on the map, that is live lightning happening right now that we are detecting here at WGXA. And right now we'll tabulate it, and you can see over 500 strikes of lightning. That's every 10 minutes. So do the math, and we're talking over 50 strikes of lightning per minute happening right now in the state of Alabama. Now this mess is trying to come into central Georgia, but it's struggling to do so. Here's why. This complex of thunderstorms, it's what we call an MCS. It has been over South Alabama all day long, and it continues to impact the same areas. It is bad news for the folks there, flooding potential there, along with the continued thunderstorm threat, but it's good news for the surrounding communities. Notice how it's trying to move into central Georgia, but it hits the state line, which has basically been a brick wall, and that's because an MCS, again, mesoscale convective system, big cluster of thunderstorms is what that means, it's robbing the energy and pulling it from other surrounding areas to keep it going. It's a living, breathing system. And as long as it stays organized in there, it is going to continue robbing our area to pay South Alabama in the thunderstorm threat. So the good news is, as long as this keeps going, our thunderstorm threat gets lower and lower as we go into the overnight hours. It's not a zero threat, but it's certainly lower than what we were thinking just a few hours ago. Some of this rain is sneaking into west central Georgia, along and west of I-75. A few sprinkles right now, maybe even a little moderate rain down towards Americus and Sumter County. A couple of showers in Thomaston and Upson County, also towards Roberta and Crawford County. And that's going to be the theme. Rain will move in during the overnight hours, but there's no thunder or lightning right now. So good news for central Georgia, and fingers crossed that it stays that way during the overnight hours. Again, I'm not zeroing out our severe weather threat. Here's our first look ahead. We'll start you at midnight with that rain continuing to move on in. And our forecast model, which has been very accurate with this, still continues to develop some thunderstorms in the morning. And I stop it at 4 a.m. Notice that curve there? That is a bowing segment. That's indicative of strong wind coming into the area. So I'm not ruling out damaging wind. Obviously, there's heavy rain potential, so we're going to keep that severe threat there. But just know it's kind of a possible. It's not a guarantee at this point, and I like our forecast that way at this point. It looks like the threat of heavy rain will continue northwest of Macon through 8 a.m. If you're heading from Macon to Atlanta in the morning up 75, it's going to be a terrible commute. And that heavy rain will spread throughout central Georgia throughout the day Wednesday, eventually moving east of here by Wednesday afternoon. And after that, we can kind of sign the all clear there for severe weather threat. Again, that's tomorrow afternoon. So here's what we think right now. I still have all of central Georgia at a possible risk of severe weather. Right now, damaging winds seem to be at the top of that list, followed by heavy rain, and number 3, an isolated tornado. But even that threat is fading minute by minute as that storm activity continues in South Alabama. So this is all good news for central Georgia. The heavy rain, we've shifted up the list. Check this out. I still think those of you shaded in purple, which is along and west of I-75, could see upwards of 2 inches of rain through tomorrow night. The Weather Service agrees with that, and as a result, the flood watch remains in effect for all of central Georgia through Thursday morning. So flooding rain is certainly a potential, in addition to the threat of damaging wind gusts, and at this point still can't rule out an isolated tornado, but we're becoming less and less concerned about that. So good news all around, I would say, for central Georgia. 7-day forecast as we see it right now. The threat of severe weather is still in the forecast, but no, it's reduced. And then for Thursday and Friday, while it won't be all-day washouts, certainly the chance of showers off and on both Thursday and Friday with limited sunshine. We'll try to get some sunshine in here for the weekend, and by early next week, it's back to the upper 80s for afternoon highs.